So hi there, I'm Kathy. Welcome. I make videos about my life as a 50-something, pre-retirement, divorced Generation Xer. And almost a month ago, I started some seedlings in anticipation of my fall garden. And they look pitiful right now. They look so pitiful. I am embarrassed to say that, but they do. But I've been really, really busy this past month. And I'm trying to get back to it so that I can get these babies looking better and hopefully in the ground in a few more weeks. But I have been busy. You see, this past month I've been doing something I never ever thought I'd do. I have been studying for the Alabama real estate course license, whatever you want to call it. I had to take a pre-certification course. But this is something I never ever thought I would be able to do. You see, back in the late 80s, early 90s, back when, that was a long time ago, back when I was a teenager, early 20s, I made some poor choices. I hung out with some people that were not real good. They brought out the worst in me instead of the best in me. You know, my mother, God love her, she didn't want me hanging out with those people. You know, she saw the writing on the wall, and she did her best. She did her very best to try to talk me out of those friendships. But of course, we don't listen to our mothers when we're that young. We know everything, and I didn't listen, and I got into some trouble that I'm not really, really proud of. So thankfully, that was just a short season of my life. After that happened, I made a conscious decision that I was never going to get in trouble like that again. I wasn't going to spend my life in jail for something stupid, and I was going to have better friends. Friends that, again, lifted me up instead of drug me down and had me participating. And it's not that they twisted my arm, don't get me wrong, because nobody can make you do anything that you don't want to do. But I did make those choices, and they're mine to own. So I decided to move on, got out of town, and started my life here in South Alabama. And that was the best decision I could have ever made, ever. You know, Wayne Dyer says to give up your personal history. And intuitively, I knew to do that. I knew that I was going to have to do that, give up my personal history. If you don't have a story to tell, you don't have to live up to it, right? So I didn't have a story. I didn't have to live up to it. And life went on. And I've done pretty good for myself. I'm satisfied. I got a good job. I have a little piece of land. Am I everything I could have been? Probably not. Could I have more? Yeah, we all can. But I'm really satisfied with where I am and the friendships I've made and just life in general. I don't think at 20 something I ever thought I'd be or have where and I am now. So there are times though, going through all of this, where I've had employers, mentors would encourage me to get my real estate license. Let me sit this down. And so when they would encourage me to get my real estate license, the thief of hope would show up. And I would make all kinds of excuses as to why I couldn't do that. You see, people with a criminal history have a hard time getting a real estate license because of the stipulation of moral turpitude. And I knew that if I came clean, that there would be a label on me. And I didn't want to face my past and deal with the labels. You know, the labels that we put on people: thief, drunk, druggie, criminal, whatever label you want to use. What we're doing when we do that, though, is we're reducing people to the worst thing that they've ever done. I heard Laura Love Hardin say, we're nothing less than the thieves of hope when we use those labels. We're hope robbers. Hope robbers. I never really looked at it like that. And what's worse is when we do it to ourselves. And for years, I did that. I believed I should just be happy with what I have instead of wanting more. Because of what I did, I was just so ashamed of my past and the actions I made as a very young adult. And I didn't feel like I deserved anything more. I should just be happy with what I have, right? Wayne Dyer also said this. He said, change your thoughts and you can change your world. Change your thoughts and you can change your world. Change your expectations and you begin to manifest and change around what you begin to see in your life. Wow, I want to do that. You see, all my life, I manifested an abundance of shame. Shame for my actions for so long ago. I didn't want to talk about it. I never really let it go, and it held me back. So last month, my boss asked me for the second time to get my real estate license. And this time, instead of making excuses, I came clean. I told her the truth. I told her that I wasn't going to be able to do that because of my past. And instead of putting a label on me, she looked at the sum total of my life. Not just that brief season. She looked at the sum total of my life. And she cleared the path for me to take an accelerated real estate pre-licensing course. Because she didn't know that Kathy from back in 1990. She knew who I had become because of that. That did contribute to who I became, because if that hadn't happened, I don't know. At that point when that happened, I made decisions to be the best version of myself without any influence. I made that decision for myself. I wasn't going to let others pull me down. I was going to make better decisions on my own. And so she saw that. She saw that sum total of my life, and she cleared that path for me, and I am so thankful. So that's what I've been doing for the past month, is taking this accelerated pre-licensing course. And let me tell you, it has been tough. This stuff's not easy, especially when you've been out of school for a really, really long time. And so I've been taking that course, and while I was taking that course, I was also working and trying to get the path cleared from the Real Estate Commission, because I do have this crime of moral turpitude from back in the late 80s and early 90s. That was 34 years ago, y'all. And so there's a lot of paperwork that they want for stuff like that, and a lot of paperwork doesn't even exist anymore. You know, it's just not there. It's just not there. I've tried. I've done background checks. I've paid for that stuff. I have tried to get all of that stuff, and that's what the Real Estate Commission requires in order to get approval. So I've been talking to them and trying to get permission to go ahead and take the state exam. So I passed that test on Friday, and it was the course test. So I passed the test on Friday, finished up my 60-hour pre-licensing course, and now I'm just waiting for the state to tell me I'm good. And what's so funny is because, again, hope and shame, they can't live in the same place. They cannot do it. One's going to always win. And so, for once, in regards to the situation about the real estate license, which again, I have been encouraged to get for years from different employers. And it was always a shameful thing for me to acknowledge that I couldn't do it. And I just make the excuse, move on, and don't live the story, right? If you don't have a story to tell, you don't have to live up to it. So I just move on. So this time, I had a champion in my corner who helped me to have a little hope about it. And so on Friday, because I changed my outlook, changed my expectation so that I could manifest different things around me, the investigator from the Alabama Real Estate Commission called me and we talked, and it was so nice. He was so understanding, and he told me I really don't have anything to worry about and that they were going to get me through. Now, I haven't received my official permission yet, but it was so nice to know that I finished up that test on that same day and I received that confirmation that somebody else was also looking at the sum total of my life and not just that brief season of it. And it was such a relief, and it just felt so good. And so I am really happy to have finished the pre-licensing course and to get back to my seedlings here who need me desperately because they are looking so pitiful. But I'm so glad to have my hands back in the dirt and to be able to focus on that. I just am waiting for the word to take that state exam, which I will do as soon as I get the word back from the Real Estate Commission. And I am just so happy to look at my past with hope again, okay? And not hold on to the shame and to finally release that. Gosh, it just feels like a big, huge weight has been lifted from me. This is not something I have ever talked about. I have never talked about this with my family, with my friends. There is no reason to talk about it. If you don't have a story, you don't have to live up to it. So I never, ever had the story to tell because I didn't want to live up to it. And so this right here is, it's a story of hope. I am glad to let that thief of hope go. I'm happy to say goodbye. The hope robber, I'm happy to say goodbye to that. And so I just want to encourage you that if you change your expectations, you can change what you manifest in your life. You can change your expectations. Let go of this abundance of shame and this abundance of lack and this abundance of poverty, this abundance of illness, and look for something different. Change your expectation when you wake up each and every morning, knowing it's going to be a wonderful day, that the sun is shining or it's raining and the ground is getting wet and your plants are being watered. it's so nice to look at things through the eyes of hope. So I would just encourage you to do that. Hope and gratitude. Hope and gratitude. Being grateful for what you have, and being hopeful for the rest that is yet to come is such an amazing feeling. And I'd also encourage you, I know that what I'm going to do is do away with the labels. I've never liked labels. It's not right to label people and to categorize them and reduce them to the worst thing that they've ever done. So I would encourage you to, you know, listen to Laura Love Hardin's TED Talk. That was really eye-opening. She has such a wonderful story, and she is a wonderful advocate for, you know, just not putting labels on people and judging them on what the worst thing that they did in their life. And the other thing I would say is it's okay to want somebody in your corner. It's okay to want a champion to cheer you on. I've got a few of those in my life, and I am so thankful for them. But more importantly, you got to believe in yourself. So believe in yourself. Go out there and do it. You know, life is short. It's really, really short, and we're here to make the very most of it, right? Each of us have just a limited amount of time. And so with that, I'm just going to encourage you to have a fantastic week and go be loved. Peace.